middle of the year, it doesn't matter. It's having that personal contact with people that is so important. It means so much to people if you reach out and just say, hey, thinking of you. Um, what's new? What can we do to help you? That means so much to people, and it's such a small gesture.
I, I,
So you're
I
just smiling.
100%, I 100% agree, but I will tell you one thing. Don't wait to call them until December and June. I
Exactly.
mean, we're so archaic in the way that we collect money and dues in Rotary.
Well,
You know
we're
what I
going to
mean?
be talking about that as soon as we
Oh,
go
we
back to
are.
being.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
goody.
Let's go. I thought that's what we were talking about.
We are. I mean, we should talk about that a
All
little
right.
bit. Um, we are archaic in the way that we do that.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think we should change?
I think you should
Continue
let
doing
people
it.
pay how they want to pay, but I
Yeah.
think going to somebody in December and saying, "Hey, we need our $1,200 right before Christmas," you're going to get one reaction. Oh, darn! I meant to tell you, I'm not going to be able to continue. I mean, that's what happens when you do quarterly billing and stuff like that. I mean, you have people that might get behind a little bit, and then all of a sudden it's December right before Christmas, and it's June right before they're trying to get their family to go on vacation. I think that you will see that if you put people on recurring or offer monthly billing or different things, you got to pay attention all the time, not just in December and June. You have to pay attention to the people, you have to pay attention to your money, you have to pay attention all the time and look for the leakage that's always happening. The sooner you put your finger in in the dam, um, a whole lot easier it is to stop the water flow.
I
Yeah.
agree. The club I'm in, we bill quarterly, right? And
Hmm.
I think it's pretty common, bill quarterly or maybe biannual or whatever. And I've been thinking a whole lot lately, and have even visited with people with different clubs that maybe consider that monthly billing. And like you said, Patrick, if someone's struggling on a month to month, then you'll be able to know when they're struggling right then and there.
And
And
then you can help them.
and I'm almost thinking that maybe we're looking at that old school thinking of dues or something, and maybe we need to migrate to the concept of a monthly subscription to Rotary. Just subscribe, be part of it.
Yeah.
We pay monthly subscriptions anyway,
Yeah.
so there's no rule that it has to be quarterly or anything, right? I mean,
No,
Rotary
they did
bills in
that.
January, they bill in July. That's it. So however you
They
collect your money could be anytime.
Yeah, they did that because they didn't want to put too much work on the treasurer. And I don't want to put too much work on the treasurer. I mean, they'll hit me with the little black zipper bag that they have. But that was years and years and years and years and years and years ago where you everybody paid by check. And, frankly speaking, there's a lot of
Yeah.
ways that you can pay right now to make it to where this would make it easier on the treasurers to allow people to choose the way that they want to pay. But for me, well, you can't talk about club engagement and club culture without factoring in the fact that you can't change club culture if you're living in the past and you don't allow any kind of advancements at all in your club. No, 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 we are not going to allow somebody to pay with their debit card. Absolutely not. Golly, I wonder why Sally left. Well, because you're still living in Fred Flintstone time
Yep.
period, and that's it. So don't at me with your, and I'm telling this to Facebook land, don't at me with club culture if you're not willing to actually change the club culture.
I think if you go into a Minute Mart today and someone orders a cup of coffee or buys a cup of coffee and they're in front of you in line, do they pay cash or they use a debit
No.
card? It seems nobody's using
Yeah.
cash anymore, and they're using debit card for even small purchases or credit card or what have you. Then why don't we take it? And while I'm on that soapbox, I want to throw out, what's your impression of charging 3% or whatever it is, convenience fee or the dues? Do you think it's necessary? And I'm going to just throw this out. I was
Hmm.
involved with a club that
Yeah.
they would accept checks for their dues. And then
Hmm.
if you wanted to pay online using your credit card, it was 3% more. Now,
Okay.
I personally experienced that. I said, okay, I don't want to pay the 3% for principal, if anything. It's not a whole lot of money, but it was something. So I'm going to wait and I'm going to write a check. And wouldn't you know it, the next week I forgot to bring my checkbook. And
Yeah.
then I forgot. And then who knows how many people might have forgot. And then by the time someone reminds them again, it could be 2 months later or maybe another quarter later. Now they got to pay 2 quarters. For golly, why wouldn't you just say, let's just assume our club dues, adjust it so that we can offset the cost and put everybody on credit card and not punish them. If I'm the treasurer or I'm the one collecting the funds, I would love everybody to pay online. It automatically goes into the bank account, and I never have to go to the mailbox, and I never have to go to the bank. And
We
fees
would
are not
waive the
that
fee,
much.
Todd. Yeah, we
Hmm?
would waive the fee if they did recurring.
That's a good idea, recurring. And you
If
can
they did
set that up.
recurring where we don't
Yeah.
have to sit there and send out if it automatically did it, and we did, the only time we ever had to call you was when your card expired, because Lord knows I can't remember which card I got on file at which website or whatever. So I usually have to get an email that said, we need your new card. But that's the only time you ever have to meet with these people. So we'd absolutely offer, the fact that, we'll eat the fee, but we go on recurring on that deal, and people love that, man. I had one person says, "I'll never use that. I'll never use it. I'll never use it." And we're like, "Hey, listen, you don't have to. It's the convenience. You can still
Yeah.
write a check. You can still bring in cash. You can do ACH. This is just offering another way that you can let people do that." Um, I never had a problem with that at all in my club.
It's all about
Choices.
options. It's all about options. And as a former business owner and seeing 2,000 to 2,500 to $3,000 a month in credit card fees, I do get that. But put don't charge Rotary members for that credit card fee. It's tough. Or build it into your dues.
Yeah.
And don't say, hey, we're charging you 3% if you use your debit card or credit card. Just it's this amount, and you know that you're going to have to pay as an institution, as a treasurer, you're going to have to pay for that percentage. It's just the way it is. That percentage stinks. Let me tell you something. It
It
is,
beats.
But it's
I
not
live.
$2,000 a year either, unless you got
yeah.
a big giant club. It's not a whole lot of money when you look at it. And I agree though, charging them there, you got a portion of the people are going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to pay that fee, so I'll just wait and write a check later when I get
You
Yeah,
around
know,
to
yeah.
it.
you know
You
what's
know?
interesting though? Here's the number I want to know. What percentage of people that are going to be taken off of the rolls at Rotary or at your Rotary Club or in your district or your zone in December of this year? Because you know it's coming.
Well, sure
December
it
31st,
does.
boom, 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 boom. I mean, it just goes on like that. I'd like to find out what percentage of those people are 2 quarters behind.
Well,
What percentage of the people that they're going to be taking off did not pay the first quarter of dues and did not pay the second quarter of dues? I'd like to know what percentage of that. I honestly believe that financial practices that are within the club force some people to leave towards the end of the year because people only pay attention. I've been in clubs where they never mention dues until they go, "Oh my gosh, I have to pay Rotary International dues on July 1st or January 1st. So we better ask Bob." You should have been asking Bob back in August. You should have been asking him back in September. Your business practices at your club are a direct reflection of your membership numbers in December and June. End of story. What do you think, Michelle? Michelle, you've been really quiet, even though you really have the cutest dog. on the member cast today. Just thought I'd
All
tell
right,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. I have been quiet and I do agree with you. It should be constant touch-ins with them. I personally just touched
Mm-hmm.
base with one of mine that he was embarrassed to come to meetings because he had gotten behind on his dues because he had lost his job. And I said,
Oh,
"Hey, we miss you. Why don't you come on back? You've lost your job. You know what? I'm going to take care of your dues for you this quarter."
That's really cool.
It's
Wow.
really hard. You just had a new baby. It's Christmas. You've lost your job. I get it. You're too valuable. He happens to be our service chair. So why would I not help him in that situation?
yeah.
For one time to keep a good Rotarian and keep him active and encourage that. And that doesn't happen if you're not reaching out and finding out
Yep.
their situations and knowing what they're going through and working with them, working through with them through that, being a true partner. That is the spirit of Rotary.
I love it.
It
That's an
is. It
excellent, and
is
talking
perfectly
about those
said.
dues at every meeting, just bringing them up. It's not
Yeah.
a dirty word to say, hey, we're all in this together and it costs money for us to do this in order us to make an impact. Bring it up, just like when you should be bringing up membership at every due or at every meeting and say, hey, this is the value of membership is having more people, many hands make light work, that type of thing. And we can accomplish more. We can make a bigger difference if we all bring a guest and start, encouraging others to participate or to be involved in a project or fundraiser, that type of thing. And by the
Mm-hmm.
way, our dues are out here. Let's talk about it. And if you're having any trouble, maybe they're having trouble logging in or they don't know how to get into to make a payment or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about things, you get what you talk about, right? And if we start talking about that, it should be whose role is that though? Who do you think should be the leader? I think the president should be the one leading this at all times. Do you guys agree, disagree? What's your thoughts?
I like the idea of keeping the presidential line,
Next arrives at
giving
second shot,
them,
half 5:18.
okay, giving them a duty, giving them a chore so they are working on something along with the president. We need that consistency and so why not have the president nominee, the president elect work alongside with the president and work in that way so it's not all one person. We never want one person to be responsible for everything because let's look at it this way. Rotarians are always busy. Always busy. If you want something done, a Rotarian will tell you they're so busy. Absolutely right. We need those type of people to help get the team together, the presidential line together and work with people and talk to people, not just the president.
Excellent point you bring up, and you mentioned the presidential line. This is December's another thing that we do is by December, we should be electing those officers for the
Mhm.
coming year. That's part of the
Yeah.
governing document of Rotary. We should have elections, and some clubs neglect to do that, or they don't have a president lined up. But the president-elect and the secretary, the treasurer, everyone who's going to be taking the new role in July should be voted on by the whole club now, and we should already know who they are so that president-elect could start getting ready for president-elect learning and preparing. It takes several months to get prepared. And what a great idea, Laura, is to bring that president-elect in and let them assume some of the roles right now in that support role into helping to encourage dues payments and membership and that type of thing and work as a
It's
partner in
all
that.
It,
about consistency, continuity, and consensus.
did you just use
That's
three
what this
C
is
words?
about.
The three
You
I
C.
owe a
use the
fine.
three C words.
You owe a fine. Michelle's
Got
going to
it.
send it to you. I'm just
Michelle, yeah.
telling you. Now
Whatever.
if you got in our club, the president elect is in charge of membership. And
Mhm.
membership is the good and the bad. So I
Yeah.
mean the go out and get and retain and the whole ball of wax. And retaining is finding out if you can help your partner there. If they're how many people have had a peak or a valley this year? Have you had it, Laura? I mean, this
Oh,
year,
sure.
I
Yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah.
come on, we all have them. And I know that if I had a valley and was not feeling good, I can prove this is the absolute truth. Um, I'm on the go, go, go all the time, and I know it looked like a bus hit me. It's been a very, very, long 2 weeks, and every single person on this call has called to check on me, has
Yep.
absolutely called to check on me to see or texted me and say,
I was gonna
"Yo, are
say,
you
I might
okay?"
have
I mean, one person
texted.
on this call said the text was more like, "You look horrible," and I'm like, "Why, thank you."
I feel
But
so good
y'all
now.
y'all checked on me, but that's what you have to do
Yeah.
all the time. We're friends here. If you want to change club culture, be friends with your members, genuine friends. So,
That's true. That's very true. The idea of family, we are that.
mhm.
And, granted, we're Zoom 99% of the time. However, we're together a lot. And it's important to kind of to keep that communication going to make sure that everybody's okay. Life can be stressful in many different ways, and just Rotary
True.
keeps us closer. But we're family.
How many live streams did you say we had going on, Michelle?
Three, I think, at the
So,
same time.
so this tech here, I'm going to give a shout out if anyone that's watching any of these three live streams can maybe send me a little note or something because we've been struggling with this. We set up the live stream with Zoom and everything, and then we do it, and then it has this
This
thing
is
that
a
says this isn't working. It's got some sort of non-thing, and so we try it again, and then all of a sudden it pops up. We got two of them. Now we got three. I'm gonna let them run because I don't know which one to cancel.
who cares?
And
God,
who cares?
this was
If
a bonus one.
I encourage anyone watching, go ahead and watch the one that you're watching, and then you can jump over and watch the other one. It's going to be like a rerun, but we say so many fun things on here. I think let's just enjoy every one of them three
Yeah.
times the
That's
fun.
right. And if you've had too much eggnog, just choose the one in the middle.
That's what I was going to
There
wonder.
you go.
Michelle, everything looks double.
It's kind of looking a little double right now.
So,
Let's
so
go.
we touched. I had a little idea. I was noodling with an idea of 7 ways you can destroy your club. I don't know if that would be a good
Oh,
topic or something. Just playing with it, and I threw it into AI, and it came up with some things. It's interesting. One of the top
uh-oh.
ones is don't talk about dues. Ignore that because people are afraid to talk
Hmm.
about money. I
Number
talked
one.
to a club one time and said, "Hey, we need to work on your dues to get your members involved." It was towards the end of the year, and I said, "So you don't lose people?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I want to make this all about the holidays and fun. I don't want to make it about money." And that club had consequently ended up losing quite a few members over the
Hmm.
last few years. Actually, they're struggling. That's one way that the AI anyway has told us is that if you ignore that part of it, because it does cost money to run a club, that you're going to end up hurting yourself. And another
Yeah.
one was that Patrick brought up: resist all innovation changes. Don't take those credit cards. I brought up AI. I use it quite a bit. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't mind having a conversation about AI in the future on one of these member casts where we talk about how it can be used. If
It's a
anyone's
hot
interested,
topic.
Perfect.
It's a hot topic with public image. They're all talking about using
Yeah.
oh,
AI
and
to
I
make the messaging easier as well as visually, because I think Rotarians struggle with being marketers. And we
yeah.
have to market ourselves to the public to let them know what
Yeah.
we're doing. So public image is really stressing how to use AI to help simplify that process to make it easier to do.
I can
But
give you
anybody who's
a third.
done this
What's
this at least a little bit,
Hmm.
in good prompt in, good stuff out. Bad prompt in, bad stuff out. So if you're bad at like marketing, do your studying to and do some prompt engineering and stuff like this to refine that prompt to get you the good stuff because it's just I mean it's not just jumping on chatgpt.com and going I mean you have to kind of work it a little bit but
Yeah.
our picks that I've met they're legit out here man I mean some of these like the ones we got in 33 and up in zone 32 and 28 and stuff like this all the ones that I've met and others they're killing it so they want you to call them they want you to call so um yeah goodness gracious
Innovation. It's important. We have to adapt. That's part of the Rotary Action Plan
Yeah.
anyway. And
yeah
adapting to things like some clubs don't like to use social media. And some of them, I hear this. Who's heard this? Well, we're older. We're an older club, so we don't really do social media.
so are
And
you okay with dying out
well,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
That's about it.
So my line to them is like, hey, if your average age is in your 60s or 70s, when all this social media started and we were doing emails and all that, you were at the age of what you like to refer to as millennial now, in their 30s. That's how old they were. They're the ones that brought it to us. And so it's one of those things you just have a realization that you can either go online and social media to try to stir up the market and tell our story, or you go to the senior center and see if any of them are still interested in coming out and parking cars or something for the weekend. That's so innovation resisting that. I got a couple more. You want to hear them?
Yes.
How about this?
sure
Tell me if any of you have ran into this. Uh, Clicks, undermining club unity with clicks within the club. Who's
That
got a
Gosh.
story?
Oh gosh, that back table that will never allow anybody to sit with them except for them.
I
Uh,
tease those guys every time I'm on a
uh,
call every time I'm on a call I'm like and I can see the whole room
yeah.
even if I'm Zoom, I'm like, where's the back table? They're proud. They raise their
Oh
hand. They
yeah,
identify themselves. And then I go, I'm watching you from 3,000 miles away. But
yeah.
I'll tell you this. You know, you can sit there. It goes back to the be friends with your people, not just acquaintances. If you really, truly care about somebody, if you're really a servant, have a servant's heart, and all you want to do is serve next to somebody, you're not that way. And you can blame, this is the way we've done it for years, all you
Hmm.
want. You can't blame, past experiences on rudeness. You just can't do it. I mean, to me, that we allow people to get away with excuses using this. We allow people to say, "Well, we don't grow because we've lost members because of COVID." COVID was 5 years ago. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
We
COVID
need to
was five
get
years ago.
off
I
of
don't want to
that
hear it
COVID.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Some
want to
it's
hear
an
it
clubs
again.
grew.
excuse.
I don't want to hear, oh yeah, we have lost people, but all of our members have died. No, it's about 3%. I
Yeah.
mean, stop giving excuses and especially for rudeness. If you're just plain rude, like the club culture deal there with the back table or whatever, there's no excuse for it.
The
Well,
What do
colorful
you think, Michelle?
commentary.
that brings up number four. Then it ties
Uh-oh.
into that. Good segue. Number four, according to AI, 7 ways you can destroy your club is, uh, it falls into rudeness, harassment, or verbal or political conversation.
Oh my gosh,
And now
yeah.
some clubs are, either right or left, and they have kind of that thing. Now we're not supposed to be political, and sometimes there is a culture where they get a little bit heavy-handed and will make snide remarks about another political party. And if you look at the voting, if 50% of the people vote for one party and 50%, that means that pretty much universally you're going to have 50% of the other party in there. And when you say something rude, and I have seen it. Have any of you experienced that where someone leaves a club because they said, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with this."
Yeah. You
Not
know,
just
and I will tell you that I don't even allow politics on my Facebook page, on my Instagram. Um, it's I have very strong beliefs myself. However, when it comes to Rotary, when it comes to doing good around the world in our communities, we cannot be political because you don't know what the political environment is like around these areas. And you can't look at someone and say, oh, you're this or you're that, so I'm not going to
Mhm.
help you. No, that's why we are allowed as Rotarians to do all of these good things around the world because we don't bring politics into it. We are humanitarians. We are not political figures. And it upsets me when people try to pull the politics into Rotary. I'll get off
Exactly.
my soapbox.
No,
Sorry.
I
No,
agree
no, I love it.
100%, particularly if you're in an area where maybe it is leaning one way or the other, a little more strong, at least the community. That doesn't mean everybody in the room
No.
leans one way or the other. We have a good melting pot of people, and it doesn't matter what political affiliation, if you even care, uh, you're there for Rotary, you're there to make a difference in the world.
Right.
And there's no different party when we start saying, I'm going to
No.
make a difference for someone over in another country. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
here to help. I'm here to serve in the way that I want to serve. And these kind of harassment and that thing. So that was number four. Um, Number five, here's one that's kind of fun. If you criticize without contributing, people that criticize leadership, that criticize others without
Mm-hmm.
contributing and making a difference and say, you could criticize and then are you not going to do anything about it? Who's ran into that?
Dude,
Michelle, let's hear your story, Michelle.
Oh gosh, I don't know that I have a particular story in mind, but it happens on the regular where people are like, "Well, we should do this," and then we have a meeting about setting up committees, and then everyone signs on a piece of paper, but then nobody steps forward when we're asking for someone to put together the next membership um, experience where we do an after hours or something like that. And we try to do a membership get together and then nobody's planning it. So, and you have to advertise it, right? You want to advertise it out to the public. So you have to put on the social media. So you need somebody to do that too. And getting those committee members it ends up, being the select few doing all of the work, trying to keep everyone together. And it really does need to be more of a collective effort because anytime there's unequitable distribution of efforts, resentment creeps in. And anytime
Yeah.
resentment creeps in, it really doesn't, you can't have a team in that type of environment, right? So everyone has to be positively contributing members of that team in order for it to gel. And we need to, I think, do a better job as Rotarians of empowering our board to fully step into the role so that there isn't just one person, like Lori was saying, there isn't just one person directing the culture that they're leading, but you
Yeah.
see that they're supported by their board on each of these roles. And then each of those boards have subcommittees that are helping them in their areas. People that are serving in a way that suits them specifically, whether it's service minded, whether it's the mentorship, right? We have our 5 areas of service. How are we focusing on those 5 areas of service? Sorry for the back commentary. It's dinner time here. So they're all, the cattle call is happening and getting
We get
everybody
it. We
going.
get it.
the,
Um,
the, the deal. Oh, were you done, Michelle? I'm sorry.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm good.
The only thing I'm saying is this is where you take everybody back. All these like last three or four questions that were there, the harassment, the back
Mm-hmm.
table, all this stuff. I looked at somebody the other day who was kind of acting like, they had a couple of digits after their name or a couple of little things after their thing. And I just looked at him and I was like, hey, man, you and I pay the same Rotary dues. I
I
mean,
love that.
it's just the same thing. I want to serve. I'm paying to serve.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paying to be a member of Rotary International. I pay the same amount as Todd. I pay the same amount as the president of Rotary. That's the joy in this whole thing. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter what our position or our standing within the organization is.
Yeah.
We all pay the same amount, so we should all be able to derive the the benefit of being fulfilled however we want to. Some people get so passionate about polio eradication or foundation or membership. Look, dude, we're sitting around on Facebook Live right now at 8:44 in the evening with like 3 watchers. Woo! Thank you very much. Love y'all. We love membership because we're testing this out because we want to bring this a little bit harder in January. And but the main thing is this is how we serve. So whenever you're looking at a situation that makes, this seem like it's impossible to have friends and there's people in your club or Betty's being or whatever, any of those other things, just go. I pay the same amount of dues as these other folks, and I want to make sure that I fill my bucket for in service, and then I can help others fill theirs. But you have to be able to get that service. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I've started saying to myself.
I like that though.
That's a good point. And it doesn't matter whether you've been, it's also time. Some people have been Rotary for 30
Mm-hmm.
years.
Yeah.
And some people have been Rotary for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. You walk in that door, we're all on the same page and we're all on the same, and your voice matters to me as much as someone who's been around forever. And I've seen it. I've seen it where, well, we have to listen to this individual because they've been around for so long, or Mr. Rotary, they know everything. You know what? It doesn't matter. I walk into a room that someone has started today, I want to hear what they have to say because that's how we start moving forward is we have to listen to everybody and they have ideas. Michelle, you're fairly new to Rotary, right?
I am. I'm not even at the 2 year mark yet. Crazy to think. It won't be until June that I'm a 2 year Rotarian. But I serve on several district committees and even more so with multi-district and some other, Rotary Youth Exchange roles. It's in my heart.
Way
Yes.
to
I know,
jump
but
in
you
and
got
make
to
a
watch out for
difference.
burnout too. I mean, Michelle, you are probably one of the most talented people that I've ever seen in Rotary, ever met in Rotary, ever. Okay. And we've met a lot of talented people. I love Todd. Todd cracks me up and he's smart and he keeps me leveled. He'll send me a text. He's in a hot tub, 4 feet of snow going, oh, you're at work. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I appreciate you doing that. And Laura just, mentor, just always taking care of us. But you got to watch out for
Yeah.
that burnout. And here's the guy, I'm telling you. But talent can only be sustained in this world if we pace ourselves.
Yeah.
And little Paul said that. He said it,
Well,
and
Paul Harris, yeah.
little Paul Harris, he said that. So now, um, you're very good at what you do, but you got to
Yes.
watch out of everybody. I'm bringing this back around. You got to watch out for leaning on the new people too much. Um, so just
We can
be
give them
careful.
the opportunities though.
Give them the opportunity.
Remember, burnout sometimes, and that may be a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, I'm burnt out on work. I'm burnt out on sales. I was from a sales world. I'm burnt out in Rotary work." Sometimes what happens is if you try to do things that you're not comfortable with or that you don't really, you're not really passionate about, it's easy to get burnt out in a hurry if you're doing a job or something that you really didn't buy into.
Mhm.
I had a conversation with someone who's become membership chair, and they don't really, it's not really their calling. They're not overly confident with it. They're not really cool about it. They really wanted to go back and do a different job. And so we're trying to talk about ways that that person could go back and maybe go back and do the job that they really like to do or the board position that they enjoyed doing in the future. Because the passion
Yeah.
if you're doing it, well, who was it that said if you if you're doing what you love, you never work a day in your life. You know, I
Nice.
love
Yep.
membership.
Exactly.
I could do this all the time. I do it all day long. Patrick knows that. I talk about it. I talk to people about all. I love it, and I don't get
And,
burned out at all. You
and
know,
as a board, the board has a responsibility to the members that if folks are not in the right positions, right? And they're not fully stepping into those roles. It's our job to have those mentors within the club that are building those people up and
Yes.
supporting them in each of their roles. And are we doing that appropriately if we're not properly onboarding new Rotarians into all the way
Nice.
to 3? And then within 2 and 3 years, they're expected to be in leadership roles, but they don't have that strong foundation. So then we have weak leadership. And then with weak leadership, our clubs struggle. So, how do we do a better job of getting messaging from Rotary International and the zones and our districts down into the little club level who seems to just be cycling through, especially post COVID, when half of their clubs are all new Rotarian base, right? And there's that constant revolving door. Who is sharing that knowledge? How are they getting that knowledge?
Oh, I
Patrick.
got this one. I got,
Okay.
I got this one because I'm gonna say something that's going. Heck, I've already said 4 or 5 things on here that are gonna get me thrown out of Rotary. But so what's the fifth? It's not a problem.
pay
I
cut.
mean, it doesn't need to come from Rotary International, and it doesn't need to come from
Mm-hmm.
the middle, from the Rotary International to the middle to the club. It is upon the club, and I'm going to say this to the loud to the people in the back. At some point in time, the club has to take responsibility for this.
Mm-hmm.
Are creating clubs out here. Now we've got the other part of the companion ladder where we've got a program that's saving the retention. And everybody goes, "What about club engagement? What about club engagement?" I looked at a guy the other day and I went, at what point is it responsible of the thing? Remember, our clubs drive Rotary. Rotary doesn't drive our clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Rotary does not drive our clubs. They are here for us as a club. We have 36,000 clubs worldwide, and they're here for us.
I
So the
heard a
way
statistic the other day that like only 26% of clubs even participate in their district trainings and events.
Oh, I I'm
26%?
sure that's true, if even that much. And it's very frustrating.
Well, the thing that I would have to say at that point, and I'm dead serious. We talk about club culture. You got district culture there too. If you're going to have the same boring old, okay, everybody, welcome here. I'm going to have somebody on here that's
Yeah.
going to tell a success story, and then we're going to go ahead and show you PowerPoints for the next 30 years. No, if you've only got 26% of the people coming there, guess what? Get somebody on there that's engaging, that can draw people, that can get people's attention, that then you can get them
Mm-hmm.
taught.
You
Sorry.
know, and to add on to that, Patrick, we cannot rely on Rotary to do everything for us. All right, in Evanston.
It's not their
Um,
job.
no, and it's no disrespect to them. They're dealing with worldwide issues. They are dealing with how
Yep.
many different languages, how many different cultures. They give us these tools, and Rotary has spent millions on getting these tools to us, but when it comes down to the club level, we don't use them.
Right.
Everything
Um,
that's out there is a tool. Our North America Club Creation Team, that app, it is a tool. And we rely on people to move forward themselves with this tool. If they're not willing to do that, you can't blame Rotary. You can't blame the district. You can't blame this. You can't blame that. You've got to look within. Okay, Patrick, I'm sure I said something
No, I'm
wrong.
doing
Well, he's
amen.
cheering, but Laura,
Okay.
Laura,
Cheering.
you brought up something. You brought up the North America Club Creation app.
Of
And
course.
since you brought it up, all of us are on the team, and I just want to touch on that for the viewers that may not see this. The app, you can download this app on your
Mhm.
iPhone or your Android phone. It's a simple app that you download and then you go in there, you make an account. It's absolutely free and you can book what they call a step one. And the step one gives you several options. You choose a date and a time that works for you, and you'll be joined with someone from the club creation team. There's a group of us. There's a group of people. There's 28 of us that serve that way to talk about membership, and we can help you with creating a new club, whether it's a
Yeah.
companion club, impact club, Rotaract club, a standalone club, yeah, Interact club if you want. And there's also an option if you want to do club refresh, where you can help refresh your club. Maybe your club's just a little stagnant or you're not growing and like you want. And maybe you're not ready to add a new club. You just want to find out and talk about it. Boy, what a great tool that's been, Patrick. That was a genius idea. You added that about 3 months ago. And yeah, we'll continue. A big hand clap for Patrick. Club Refresh is one of my favorite things where
Yes.
a club or a district leader, whoever, or anyone that's a club member, any Rotarian in the world can contact us through the app and they can meet with a team member and talk about tried and true ways that they can help improve their club and grow their membership. And the best part, it's almost like counseling. You get to just sit and talk about what problems that you see. Because sometimes when we just talk about it, all of a sudden all those answers come up. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's a little shout out for the Club Creation Team app. It's a North America Club Creation Team. Download that app, book a step one. It's free. You should do it. Everybody should do it. Really, they should. What
It's
do you
worth
think?
15 minutes. It's worth 15 minutes of your
Yeah.
time. Sit
Yeah,
down, tell us about your club, and worst case scenario, I get to learn about your club. Michelle gets to learn about your club. You don't have to talk to Todd if you don't want to. If you draw that short straw, no, I'm teasing you. I
there you
absolutely
go.
teasing. Todd's one of the best. He's taking calls in the Pacific Northwest at like 6 a.m. So,
All the time. We got people
15
all across
minutes.
the world
That's
contacting
right.
us too. Hey, I want to touch before we go on the two other things that AI told me. And by the
Uh-oh.
way, AI is so simple. You go to Google on your phone or what have you, and you'll hit a button that says AI, and you hit that button, and you can just tell it, like I said, hey, what are 7 ways to destroy my Rotary Club? And it comes up with this. So we'll talk maybe in the future about AI and how it can be beneficial. You can learn so much this way.
Mhm.
Another thing that they said is that if your club or members are refusing to participate or create a service project, uh, and I think that's
Then
good
you're
because if you're not doing a service project, you're not engaging your members or bringing in potential volunteers that become members. So doing something in the community is kind of what we're here for. What were you going to say, Patrick?
And then if you can't get your members to do your service projects, you're doing the wrong service projects. You're doing the same one you
Yes.
did when you entered Rotary 30 years ago. What do you mean we can't? I mean, I still have, I'm going to say this this out loud, okay? Um, how many people here still do a dictionary project?
What's a dictionary?
No, no, seriously, they still do a dictionary project just because they've done it. There's not a third grader in the world. I went to a thrift store, right? Do you know how many boxes of dictionaries that on the back donated by such and such Rotary Club are at the thrift store? I mean, we have to evolve.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden your project started to get, oh my gosh, last year we had 30 people helping, and then now it's a struggle to get to five, you're doing the wrong project. You're talk about club culture, guys. If you're testing out a project and you can't get anybody to come, here's your sign you're doing the wrong type of projects. Why don't you find out what type of projects? Why don't you ask your members? There's a good thing, Todd. Ask your members what kind of service they do outside of Rotary, right?
And if they're doing
And they
all
go
that
do
service
service
at a
with them.
Rotary, correct. Why aren't they doing it through Rotary?
That's
That's
a
right.
good point. And
Exactly.
we can
I'm
tell you can tell when a project's becoming a dud, and it's pretty easy. It's when you've got your older people that have been around, I don't want to say older ones, but your long termers have been around and they're saying, oh, we need to do this project because we've always done it, but they're not participating because they don't maybe have the energy to do it. And then you've got your new people that are like, I got other stuff to do. I can't do it. They make excuses. I got to work. I got baseball or whatever it may be. They can't make time for it. So you got your middle group. Maybe it's 4 people, maybe it's 14 people, whatever.
Mhm.
The same people every year working on the same project that you've been doing for years. They're uncomfortable telling the people that are telling them that they need to keep doing it to tell them, hey, this is a dud. I'm tired of doing it. So they just keep doing it. And the new people,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm not interested in it. And they're afraid to say that they're not interested in it. They just say they're busy. At that point, you need to take a review whether that project is still relevant or not. It might have just ran its course. It could have been a great deal, or it may have capped out. It may have gone to its limit. If it's not making the impact anymore and it's not engaging members, it's a dud. There's a terrific tool through the Rotary Action Plan. If you go on the Learning Center, Rotary Learning Center, and learn about that, you'll be able to walk through the building blocks of a project. I recommend everyone goes through all of their projects and determine, is this project still making an impact? If you're putting more work into it and more money into it than you're getting out of it for anybody else, it's a dud. It's time to move forward. It's just ran its course. Doesn't mean it
Uh,
was bad always. It just means that today it's no longer relevant. Let's go find another project that everybody's going to be happy with. Final thing here that AI told us was neglecting our attendance or not taking attendance at all. Now I know Rotary changed things over COVID that says we're going to get rid of attendance requirements. Used to be you had to go a certain amount of times or you'd be booted out. Now I can't disagree with that. On the flip side, I can't say that completely ignoring attendance or completely not tracking your members that are attending your club should be done either. If your club normally has, let's say you got 30 people in your club, and if you're tracking it and you find out that only 10 or 15 are showing up, that's a good way for you to call those other 15 or 20 people and find out why they're not showing up. So attendance, I'm a big fan of attendance. I don't know what you guys think. Let's hear your thoughts on it. Laura?
well,
You in trouble though. My wife just came up here and said, "What is going on?" I said, "Boy, they got me fired up." So I'm gonna leave this one alone because this one would be the real fired up one. Michelle?
Ooh.
Right. So I am an impact member, which means that my attendance is flexible and it's not required, but guaranteed that my attendance percentage is probably higher than the majority of the sponsor club members. Other than the back table that's always there, because that's their socialization. That's how they get together. Those are their friends for 30 years that they look forward to that day. But from a consistent basis of members, maybe in my age group or a little bit younger, I bet you my attendance is pretty high. But I think it's something that should be tracked for something other than just how many breakfasts are we paying for this morning,
What
right?
about what about perfect attendance pins? You know, there's a group of people in every club that
Yep.
really dig. I've got a perfect attendance pin because I dig that. I like getting recognized for that. I like to have that pin, and I'm proud of the fact that I show up and I do a makeup if I can't make it. Now, that doesn't light everybody's fire. It lights my fire, and guess what? If you find a way to light each of your members' fires, now you got a fire burning pretty strong. So that's just my
That's right.
opinion.
Todd, on yours, I congratulate you on that. I will celebrate you when they hand you your new pin. I think that's fantastic. But taking attendance for just that club meeting and negating
hmm
the things the if Michelle did Zoom call today with her committee on youth exchange, then spent an hour doing work with this, and then talked with another club and stuff like this. Um, do we get to go back to the club and say, "Hey, you came at 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock and ate breakfast and had fellowship. Um, this other Rotarian put in 5 or 6 hours today on that thing. We're going to be taking attendance on your service projects and all this other stuff." I'm of a big thing to let people serve the way that they want to serve. You, my friend, dig those things. I will celebrate you from here to eternity, brother. I will be there when you get that pin, man. I'll make
Well,
sure
I would let me preface
yeah.
that. I would say that that's called a makeup. See,
Yeah.
makeups can be made, and each
Yeah.
club can decide. So if someone's out there serving in other manners,
Mhm.
they're like committee or something like that. That there's no reason that shouldn't be counted as a makeup. You can look at it that way. I guess what the real reason is, I only brought that up. The real reason I'm talking about attendance is tracking it so that you can identify who's not showing up
That was
and
my
Right.
point. Yeah.
touch
Yes.
That's
base with them
okay.
Yeah.
and say,
Yes.
"Hey, I noticed you haven't been around. Is everything okay?"
Right.
Uh,
That part, the personal touch, the personal connection, the personal touch. How many
Track
people have you talked
engagement.
to today? Yep. Engagement.
Track engagement, not attendance.
there you go.
Oh,
Maybe
I like
And
that's a
that.
great
and
Yeah.
I
idea.
and I think that's the better way of describing it.
Mhm.
You know,
Probably better.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I used to come, I used to be in at Rotary every single week. Things change. And so maybe I don't go to a meeting, but I've got 17 different events on Rotary a week. So I'm living Rotary, but I didn't go to that meeting.
Oh,
And we have
living
to,
rotary.
yeah, well, I mean, we
That's
are.
awesome. Living rotary.
But that's what we do. And so that's an impact, that's impacting things in a different way. And to me anymore, it means more to me to impact people, to
Mm,
impact a project
mm.
more so than it is to go to a meeting.
And who can
Um,
we inspire to do the same right behind us?
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good
we need
point.
to work on that. Yeah.
That's a good
And
point. So
we
there we
have to get away from, you're only a Rotarian if you go to noon lunch on Tuesday.
It's more than
Uh,
just
yeah, that
checking the
is more
box
than
of
that. Yeah.
of
yeah,
attending a program. Yep.
right, right, Michelle. It really is, and for those people out there, that's what's most important to them, and we have to respect that. But we also want to make sure they respect the fact that it's not all the same. Not one size fits all. And our Rotary journeys are different,
It,
but yet
It-
they're all important.
we're stealing your idea for a t-shirt.
You go right ahead. What did I say?
Live rotary.
There you go.
Live Rotary. Well, I think we've
Love it.
used up our time 3 times, according to Michelle
Oh,
on Facebook. So, wow, what a fun time here on our India. This is our holiday special, by the way. So, happy holidays to everybody here on the call and everybody listening. We are going to have a call next week. Next week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And guess what? Next time is going to be in 2026, right?
oh my gosh, it's
No.
crazy.
And you,
Not yet.
what?
No,
Yeah.
Next
not yet.
Tuesday, it
It's the
won't be
last
yet.
one.
Oh, it won't
It'll
be
be the
yet.
last one
It'll
of the
be
year.
almost 20. So
Yeah.
2025. So
Almost.
it'll be our
Yeah.
last episode of this year, and it'll actually be the last episode of season one. We're going to be launching season two that starts in January, and we got a lot of neat things coming up. We've got some more speakers coming in. Just to give you a peek under the covers, we're going to hear a little bit about. We're going to have a speaker coming in that's actually a podcast. I'm going to try to get both of them in. It's a couple that does a real popular podcast on sales and that type of thing.
Oh,
They're
cool.
fairly new Rotarians. They're very engaging. And I want to get their impression on the onboarding process and some tips that they've already come up with of ways that they can improve their Rotary
Oh,
Club.
cool.
And speaking of onboarding, I think you brought that up earlier today, Michelle. I'm toying with the idea of maybe including in season two a special onboarding special that we could maybe mark it out and let everybody know. Bring your new members to this membercast episode when we do onboarding. We're going to talk just about Rotary and the Rotary story and some fun things about that. What do you think about that as an idea?
I like it. And I think we
So-
should introduce Rotary International also has a new orientation for new members that they can watch independently. So that's something we could add to that as well. So
That's
just,
tremendous.
yeah.
I like it. So we're going to bring some ideas, how to do a better job onboarding, how to do things to engage those new members and current members. That's coming up in season 2. Join us next week for the final episode of season 1 of Membership Unplugged.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Happy holidays, everyone. Take care.
Happy holidays.
Patrick, any final words?
Congratulations to all the clubs that were out there that celebrated their charter, that worked with us, the North American Club Creation Team. This past week has been absolutely nuts. Lot of standalone clubs, a lot of companion clubs that just got started, and frankly, there's I believe 14
We've
or
got 15 in the queue.
get done, plus the people in step 3. It is really catching fire. Download the app.
We're going to have a list next
We
week.
just-
Bring a
We
list.
just had an installation party on Thursday night for the Community Rotaract Club here, and it was a fantastic time being out there and celebrating those young adults and their excitement over Rotary.
Yeah,
That's
we had
all
a
coming up.
55-person standalone
Congratulations.
club down in Texas or up in Illinois. So we'll bring a list and we'll celebrate them the first next week.
All right, we'll see you next week. I'm going to log off. You guys can log back on, but I'm going to shut down live stream right now.